नमः पार्वती पतये गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनम्.
So namaskaram to everyone. Namaste everyone. I'm happy to see Shukla Panchami. Today I am very fortunate to see all the Bhujai of Shukla Panchami for Adi Shankara Bhagavad Padacharya. So I'm very happy to see you all here again, and we'll start with the prayer. Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Bashantayem Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Guruve Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Nadiye Sarva Vidyanam Dakshinamurtiye Namaha தென்னாடுடைய பெரியவா போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி சர்வஜ்ஞா சர்வவ்யாபி பெரியவா சரணம் மாயப் பிறப்பருக்கும் மகா பெரியவாடி போற்றி. ஓம் ஜன்மாத்யஸ்ய யதோ அன்வயாதிதரதச்சார்த்தேஷு விக்ஞः ஸ்வராட் தேனே பிரம்மஹ்ருதாயாதி கவயே முஹ்யந்தி யத் சூரயः தேஜோ வாரிமிருதாம் யதா விநிமயோ யத்ர த்ரிசர்கோ மிருஷா दाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तगुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. So last time we have seen how Sukacharya came to recite Bhagavatam to Parikshita, and he was, before chanting or before reciting anything, we have to do some slokams because everything has to go on well. Even for that, we have to get the, blessings of the Lord. So Sukacharya, full of tears, went to the ecstatic state and offered, namaskarams to the Supreme Lord. And he says, those who do tapas means penance or charity or puja or whatever it is, mantra jabam or meditation, whatever it is, whatever we do, we, if we don't do it without Krishnarpanam, we have to say Krishnarpanam. Krishnarpanam means we have to physically do it. We have to arpanam to Krishna. We have to do arpanam to Krishna. Otherwise, everything will go waste. So if you do Krishna arpanam, see, then all the doshams, all the defects, because we don't know everything, isn't it? So nobody knows everything. So 100% we don't know. So whatever dosham, whatever defects, that will be cleansed off. That is why we have to do Krishnarpanam. So there's a story of Vitura in Mahabharatam. See, during Mahabharatam, period, there was time when Krishna went to Hastinapuram to hold peace talks, Krishnan Tudu, that is peace talks with the Kauravas. See, when Krishna was entering that Hastinapuram city, everyone offered Krishna, hospitable welcome for Krishna, because everyone knows that Krishna Paramatma is the Paramatma himself. He is the Lord. He is the Paramatma. He is the Supreme Personality. So everyone knows that. But except, they all came forward. They all welcomed Krishna. But except for two people, two persons. One is inside blind and another is outside blind. See, the inside blind is Duryodhana, because he is full of egoistic person. He's egoistic, but he doesn't want to come and invite Krishna. Who is Krishna? I don't want to invite him. He's like us. He thought like that. Dhritarashtra. He doesn't know because he is blind, so he never came to welcome Krishna. So So, but Krishna, Lord's state, the God, Paramatma state is always, like a middle of the ocean. It's always still. So he came there, Krishna came there to Hastinapuram. There are a lot of big shots, big people welcoming Krishna. That is Bhishmacharya. Bhishmacharya is a very big shot, very big person. Dronacharya, so many big persons, they all came to welcome Krishna. Everyone tries to hold hands with Krishna and entered the city. So Krishna, he was seeing all everywhere, all the city, how beautiful the city is. And he saw a palace, beautiful palace, mansion, a very, very big palace and mansion. And he went in front of the palace and he asked, whose palace is this? It looks so good, and whose palace is this? Bhishmacharya said immediately, oh, that is mine. See, this palace is mine. You have to come. You have to enter into my place. Krishna said, okay, oh, is this your palace? Okay, I'll come some other time. Yeah, there's no time for me to come. Okay, some other time we'll see some other time. And then he moved forward. He saw another palace and he asked, whose palace is this? So Bhishmacharya is a brahmachari. He left everything for the sake of the, their progenies and all. He made such a vow and all. But immediately he said, it's mine. Here, Dronacharya, another palace. Krishna asked another palace, he saw another palace and asked, whose palace is this? Immediately Dronacharya, who is a learned person, who has learned all the 4 Vedas and 6 Shastras and everything, he's a Brahmin, and he told that this palace is mine. You have to come. You have to enter into this palace. See, they asked Krishna to stay, in their palace, but Krishna said no, and there is no time for me to stay. Yeah, some other time we'll see, some other time. But the surprising thing is that Krishna stands in front of the owner of the palace, in front of the palace who it belongs, and asks the owner, whose house is this? So everyone said, this place is mine. This place is mine. So while moving forward, even Duryodhana, he came out from his palace. His palace was very beautifully decorated with all the decorative ornaments. You could see all the, all the decorative ornaments with artificial decorations and all. And Krishna asked, whose palace is this again? So Duryodhana said, Mamedam, Mamedam. Mamedam means, he said, I decorated the palace for you to come. Krishna smilingly said, oh, okay. This palace is good. I'll come some other time. And he was, he was looking here and there, and he saw a hut, a thatched roof, worn out hut in a corner. And Swami, it was in a very bad shape. This hut was in a very bad shape. And Swami asked, Swami means Lord Krishna, he asked, whose house is that? Nobody answered. But Vidura, who was standing, with tears in his eyes in a corner, he said in a whining tone, he said, this is the house of Gopalan. This is the house of Krishna. So Krishna immediately said, oh, wow, my mom Yashoda has bought a house even here. So said, he entered the house. He entered into the, the hut. See, he never entered into the big bungalows. He never entered into the big mansion, which was fully decorated and all, so much of decorations and so much of things. But rather, he entered into this hut. Why? Because this Vidura, actually he does Krishnarpana. Whatever he eats, if he eats, he gives to Krishna, and then he takes as a prasadam. He actually, if he wears something, he says that this is Krishna's dress I'm wearing. Say whatever, everything, whatever, he has, it belongs to Krishna. He doesn't fake. He always have Krishna in his mind. Always have Krishna, Lord in his mind. he does puja for Krishna Vigraham. Daily he thinking Krishna in the mind. We are all doing puja. Now, you have done all the puja for Adi Shankara and everything. You have to think Adi Shankara in the mind, Adi Shankara is taking whatever prasadam you are, making, and he is taking that. He is accepting that. And then we have to take all the things. Then we'll get the kadakshan, we'll get the blessings of, Guru Margal, means acharyas. So, but he does actually, he doesn't fake, he actually does, but he, he was, he does puja, for Krishna Vigraham, thinking Krishna in mind. But today what happened? Actually, Krishna is there in front of him. Actually, Krishna is there in present in front of him. So, he doesn't know what to do. See, he went into the ecstatic mood, ecstatic state. And what happened is he poured the milk, he poured the honey, everything in his head. He became insane. Like, at that moment, he put the sandal in his eyes, he put the milk in his head. And Lord Krishna, he himself became overwhelmed. Like, he doesn't know when this puja will end because of the bhakti. He does everything. So, he doesn't know when this puja will be over. Vidura is doing puja for himself, for thinking that Krishna, he is doing for Krishna. So, Vidura, stop this. See, I accept your puja, but I am hungry now. See, I have come, Lord, from Dwaraka, from somewhere I have come to Hastinapura. I am feeling hungry now. So now please, give me something to eat. So Vidura never even, dreamt that Krishna would take something from his house. He always thought, he was a Dasi's son. And he is neither a Brahmin nor a Kshatriya to welcome Krishna. So here, I remember, Viliputurar, Viliputurar Mahabharatam. There is a Mahabharatam written by Viliputurar. He said here, Tullinan, Guditan, Ullam Uriginan. That's what the ecstatic state is. So Krishna said, now, see, you promised to give me whatever you have prepared in your house for you to eat. Don't prepare anything extra. Doesn't want him to strain. So Vidura's salary, at that period is only 2 anna paisa. So though he was a minister at that time in Dhritarashtra's, court, and he can give only what he can give with 2 annas. He can give only porridge, like kanji. In Tamil, it's called kanji. So he prepared a cup out of leaf called donnai. If you go to India, you can see that it's made up of a leaf, called donnai, to hold this porridge. And he closed, the cup, the porridge cup, with a towel. And he thought, at least I can give, I'm able to give this to Krishna. So Lord asked him to open that cup, open the towel. But he became so ashamed at that time and said, the Lord has come here. Paramatma has come here. It's not something, ordinary thing. It's a Paramatma. And he has come here. But I am in a state, see my state. I am in a state where I could not even feed you with, with proper meals. I couldn't give you proper meals. So he cried bitterly. But Krishna, seeing that porridge, what he said, that's the Lord's compassion is like that. Oh, I just wanted this porridge only. See, this porridge, as it's too sunny and bright and, hot outside. I want this porridge only. And, what a coincidence. See, it's a very much coincidence that, you bought this porridge without even me asking for it. See, whatever I thought you have brought. So I feel very happy. So Vidura also became very happy because his sorrowful tears, his sorrowful tears changed into happy tears. Ananda Bashpa means happy tears, because Bhagavan himself became so scared, because if such a devotee or such a bhaktan, such a devotee like Vidura cries, then something might happen to Vaikuntha. So Vidura, after giving this, porridge, happily now he is giving bananas as a dessert. He is giving bananas. What he did, he removes the peel, he threw the banana and giving the peel to Swami Krishna. Swami also says, what a beautiful, what a sweet banana. I have never tried like this. I have never tried a banana like this. Where from you got this banana? See, after some time only he realized that he is giving only the peel and not the banana. So he became so sad. What a fool I am. He became so sad. But Krishna said, Bhagavan said, this is how. There is no bhaktan or devotee or a bhakti which is shown to me like you. There is nothing. I couldn't compare this bhakti to anyone else in the world. So he slept in his house the entire night and woke up and went in the morning. So that's how in Bhagavad Gita it is said, like Krishna says, Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Tataham bhaktya upahritam asnami prayatatmana. Means, if one offers me with love, with a devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water, I will accept it. It's not that you have to provide me a very big feast. This is enough, but it has to be done with devotion and love for God. Yad karosi, yad asnasi, yad juhosi, tadasi yad tapasyasi kaunteya, tad kurusva madarpanam. See, he was telling, oh, son of Kunti, see, all the, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer, and give away, as well as all austerities that you man perform, should be done as an offering unto me. This is what Krishna says. So whatever we do, we have to do Krishnarpana. That is how Vidura did. So if that is done, then whatever dosham or defects we have, if one is a bhaktan or a devotee, then that bhakti will remove the defects or the dosham. That is why we always say, Kayena vacha manasendriyirva buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhava karomi yadyat sagalam parasmi narayanayeti samarpayami. Say, there is if one says, bhavadi bhikshandehi, if one, comes in front of the house, and if a beggar begs like a bhavadi bhikshandehi, then that giver knows what to do. Even though they don't know the meaning. See, that is how we pray to Bhagavan. Bhakti is important, that's all. Bhagavan will take care. Bhagavan will take care of whatever we want, whatever desire we have. Even we can't, find good words to describe our desire. Somebody asks you what you want, then what will happen? We will ask for something, whatever we want at that moment. That's all we know. We don't know what we want. So Bhagavan knows. So bhakti is important. That bhakti is the only thing we can do. See, that is how here Sukacharya prostrated Lord, to Lord Krishna. People, belonging to all the castes, like Kradan, Unan, Vendan, Andan, Pulindan, Krastan. So means Rumba Kullam, like short, dwarfy. See, Abinan, Sutrapadidan. Also, they all get mokshams by getting closer to bhaktas, by being in satsangam. They get moksha. So Sukacharya said, one becomes purified. One becomes purified by seeing the lotus feet of the Lord continuously. If he sees the lotus feet continuously, he gets chitta suddhi, cleansing the mind, chitta suddhi, which leads to see the Lord as one absolute. Even though we pray it in a different forms, like, we like Parameshwara, Vishnu, Murugan, Suryan, Ganapati, Ambal, so many gods we see. But, even though if, for example, if a grandfather, say a grandfather is called granddad by his grandson, and dad by his son, and brother by his sister, he is only one person, is only one human being. Like he can't question a grandson, he can't question a grandson for calling him granddad. Why do you want to call me granddad? I'm not a granddad. He can't say like that. See, there's only one supreme, absolute truth, supreme truth, super conscious, or God, Paramatma, which appears in different forms. So, thus said, Sukacharya started chanting Mangala Slogam to start Bhagavatam. He prostrated to the Lord. Sukacharya said, I offer my namaskarams to my father who had taught me, Vyasacharya. He said the pure devotees always, drink of the nectarine, transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge is a nectarine, dropping from the mouth of the lotus-like mouth of the Lord. So Maharaja Parikshetam here, sorry, Maharaja Parikshit here, he worriedly, said, I have to get the Vairagyam. I have to get the Vairagyam. So Sugar said, here, see, don't pray particularly for getting this thing or that thing. Particularly, you don't have to pray for that. See, if you pray to Bhagavan sincerely, you will get everything. See, it is like, if you want to send a mail, post mail to someone, then what will you do? You have to write the address, correct address. You have to write the correct address and post it. That's all you have to do. You don't have to chase the mailman. You don't have to chase the mailman, to check whether it is properly delivered to the particular person, even though it may be a very important letter. You don't have to do that. Extra work is not needed. So you don't have to work that much hard. So you pray, that is it. That's enough. So here Maharaja Parikshetam, now he is asking, after, he is asking so many questions to Sukacharya, like, about how the jnanis will be, because he's a Maharaja, he's a king, he's an emperor. He always lives in palace with all the, if you want to sleep, he has got a cot. If you want to, they have got a lot of people to serve him. So he doesn't know how the saints and jnanis and sages will be. He has not seen. So he asked Sukacharya about the jnani, how the jnanis sleep, how the jnanis will eat, how they will eat. What will, they should have at least a cot to sleep. See, he's asking Sukacharya, at least a cot to sleep, and at least they should have a pillow to sleep. So Sukacharya here, he smilingly answered, the whole bhumi, Maharaja, Rajan, the whole bhumi, the whole universe, the whole earth, is sufficient for them. That's a whole thing. They are not confined to some this thing 7,000 what is this, square feet or something, 8,000 square feet or 10,000. The whole bhumi is there, the whole earth is there for them. How Bhagavan has designed our hand, you can bend like this, the elbow and everything, you can bend like this, so to make it as a pillow. You can sleep by making, by doing like this. Then Maharaja Parikshit, he asked, there has to be something to hold the food, at least a coconut shell or something to hold the food, they beg. But Sugar said, we have got 10 fingers. You can keep like this. 10 fingers you can fold like this. And the food, what are all the food they eat? See, we have got lot of trees, lot of fruit-bearing trees. So they will eat whatever they want, and they can quench their thirst by drinking water from the river. Rivers are there to quench their thirst. And they have got rain or shine, there are a lot of caves for them to stay. They won't get scared because of the wild animals or anything. Because as they have Bhagavan, inside the heart and soul. And Bhagavan is always protecting from inside as well as outside. So Sugacharya said, "Oh Rajan, don't get scared. Don't get scared. There is always Bhagavad Anugraham for you." And he started saying, Vitura Narada Samvada. See, Lord Brahma Devan, Lord Brahma preached Chatushloki Bhagavatam to sage Narada. See, this Brahma, that is Chadurmukha Brahma, was born from the navel of Vishnu, who is the Brahman. Brahman means Paramatma, who is all pervading. Brahman, or the ultimate reality of consciousness. You know, when Brahma was born, he saw only water everywhere. So he suddenly heard the word tapa, meaning austerity. You know, Brahma thus started meditating on the Lord, meditating on the ultimate reality, you know. And the Lord was happy with his meditation, and he gave him the vision. He gave Brahma the vision. Then he asked Brahma to ask for a boon. So Brahma asked, Brahma was the first one, isn't it? So Brahma asked about the creation and the ultimate reality. Thus Vishnu, Mahavishnu, thus explained to Brahma the ultimate reality in 4 slokams, which is called the Chatushloki Bhagavatam. This is the essence of the whole Bhagavatam. The whole Bhagavatam comes under this. The whole, this is this Chatushloki Bhagavatam, it comes under the 2nd canto, 9th chapter. If you see Chatushloki Bhagavatam, that's a 4 slokams and 4 slokams there. So Brahma now preaches the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which is in a Vedantic form, to sage Narada. So the essence is the Bhagavan is the eternal form. See, the Bhagavan is the eternal form who was existing before the creation. When there was nothing, nor was that the material nature. So this is the cause of creation. So the Prabhanjam which you see, the Prabhanjam is the which you see is the illusion, is the Maya. Maya means illusion. So Bhagavan is only Shashvatam. Ultimate reality, consciousness is only Shashvatam. Where then one gets this type of transcendental knowledge to see the Bhagavan, then he is all knowledgeable. He knows everything. It means that he knows everything. So this is the Bhagavata Saram, essence. But the Lakshanam means attributes of Maya is, we know by theoretically we know, but the Maya, what will happen? The Maya will always appears to be true. That is its Lakshanam, though it's not the reality. It's not the reality, but it always appears to be true. We always think our shariram, our body is true and have no knowledge about our Atma. So the wrong conceptions of, the wrong conception of detaching a thing from its relationship with the Lord is called the Mahamayi, Devamayi. That is, misconceiving one thing from another thing. Misconceiving one thing from another thing is called illusion. See, the example is accepting a rope as a snake is illusion. But it is not false. So the rope as it exists in front of the illusioned person, but it's not false. But the acceptance is illusory. Therefore, the wrong conception of accepting the material manifestation as being divorced from the energy of the Lord is the illusion, but it is not false. See, and this illusory conception is called the reflection of the reality from the darkness of ignorance. See, these are all complicated things. Okay, these are all complicated. That's why God has created dreams. That's why God has created dreams which are very real at that point of time, at that moment. At that moment, it was very real. See, when we wake up, it all becomes illusory. It all becomes dream. It's only a dream. It's a Maya. So if one wants to understand the philosophy of Maya and the philosophy of Paramatma, then one has to surrender to Paramatma only. So the Brahma said, see, all these are complicated things, but the Brahma said, Narada, Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken to me in a nutshell by the Supreme Lord. But you describe this science of Lord with determination and in a manner in which it's quite possible for all the human beings to develop this transcendental devotion service to the Lord. See, there is no need to say all these philosophies and everything, and make them dry. Don't make them dry. Dry knowledge is, is waste. Dry knowledge is waste. So the listeners of the Bhagavatam must enjoy the stories. This is the crux. The philosophy is the crux. Of course, the philosophy is important. But, if you keep on chanting all the philosophies and so many things, people become dry and people won't hear. So now he started to describe the creation of the universe, how the universe is created, how initially, Brahma came. The whole universe is full of Vedas. Whole universe is Vedas. So Brahma came out from the lotus, which has got 14 petals. And the 14 petals of the lotus, are called 14 lokas. So now Brahma started creating the earth. Initially, he created Sanagadiyargal. Sanagadiyargal, they are four. They are four, and they are Sanagar, Sanat Kumara, Sanandana, Salat Sujati. Brahma called them and said, you have to marry, and you have to create children, and you have to create this world. But the Sanagadiyargal, they said, we don't want to marry. We are going to get sannyasam, and they remained as boys forever. So Brahma got angry at that time. When he became angry, what happened is Rudra came out. Rudra is not this. Rudran is not Parameshwar. He never liked him. So then he created Nava Prajapatihal. Nava Prajapatihal is the 9 sages. That is, he created Marichi, Atri, Angirasa, Pulastya, Pulagar, Kritu, Bhrigu, Vashishtar, and Dakshan. So these are he created Nava Prajapatihal, and he created a couple also, Manu and Satarupai. And in the meanwhile, what happened? A thumb-sized boar came out from his breath. The boar, grew up to a size of a mountain and went inside the ocean. So there was a demon or a Rakshas called Hiranyakshan. He took the earth and he hid inside the ocean. And this boar, which came out of the breath, is the Yajna Varaha Murti. It's a pig-like face, Yajna Varaha Murti. He killed Hiranyakshan and went to Vaikuntha. This is all Vitura Maitreya Samvada. Actually, this Varaha Charitram was heard by Vitura from Maitreya. So this, we will talk about this in the next session probably. I think it's time. I think we can talk about this in the next session. Like, we will see the Varaha Avatar in the next session, how Lord Krishna, wants Vitura to go to Maitreya's place and hear this Bhagavad Katha Shravanam. Bhagavad Katha Shravanam is more important. The Shravanam is more important. Hearing to Bhagavan's stories, glories of the Lord, it's very, very important, because it cleanses. It cleanses our body, mind, everything. And it starts developing a devotion or love towards God. If you start loving towards, start to love God, then what will happen is you will find peace and you will be happy. See, all the fairy tales, it will end like a happy ever after. See, that's what will happen. If you think of Lord, we'll stay happy ever after. So we'll finish this session today, and we will meet in the next session. So we'll finish this session with the Purnamadam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. So we'll meet in the next session. Thank you.
ధన్యవాదం.
Dhanyavadam. Thank you. Ram Ram.
రామ్ 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 రామ్
Ram Ram.